When you see a trigonometric limit, there's only one trick you need to know. Master this one trick and you've got all trigonometric 0 over 0 limits effectively covered. What's that trick going to be? We're going to check it out with this limit here. Limit x goes to 0 of 1 minus cosine x by x sine x. And I'm going to walk you through the usual process for finding limits. I'm a professional mathematician. I'll show you how to think about it, and then we're going to see the trick. So first off, we just want to see what happens when x approaches 0. And if you're not dividing by 0, you can just plug in. That's the essence of limits. You can just plug in, but usually problems are more challenging than that. As x approaches 0, 1 minus cosine x approaches 0 because cosine of 0 is 1. So we get 0 here, and as x approaches 0, x times sine x is just, you're doubling up on 0. 0 squared, which is 0. Okay, so you get a 0 over 0 limit. It's an indeterminate form, which means that it could be any value. And to find out what it is, we have to find out how to simplify this limit, how to express this function in a different way that allows us to directly plug in x equals 0. Now, usually there is what I like to call a culprit with these limits, where you can cancel something from top and bottom and then simplify. But with trig limits, it's not so clear. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the following trick. There are two tricks. The first trick, which is specific to this one, and the second trick is more universal. The first trick is, in order to cancel something, we kind of want to create a sine and a sine on top and bottom, or a cosine and a cosine on top and bottom. We want the same function to kind of be on the top and bottom. We have a cosine and a sine which won't do. So we're going to multiply top and bottom by 1 plus cosine x. And the way this, what this does for us is we can use this famous trig identity, that sine squared x plus cosine squared x is 1, and to then use that to actually do some simplification. And you may ask, how do I know to actually multiply top and bottom by 1 plus cosine x? Well, it's kind of natural to think about, if you want, as I said, to make a common thing on top and bottom, like a sine and a sine, then you think about, that identity. Basically, that identity is what you do in general. You just want to express sine in terms of cosine. You use sine squared x plus cosine squared x is 1. So multiplying by 1 plus cosine x on top and bottom and using the difference of squares formula is the way to go. So here we have sine squared x plus cosine squared x is 1, essentially the Pythagorean theorem. And now we are very close to getting somewhere, because now we get limit x goes to 0 of 1 squared minus cosine squared x. The difference of squares formula, it basically tells us that a minus b times a plus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. Okay, using that, we're going to get 1 squared minus cosine squared x, and that's going to divide by x sine x times 1 plus cosine x. Always remember, you want to multiply both top and bottom by the same quantity. Then the ratio doesn't change. Okay, so we get that, and that's just going to equal to limit x goes to 0 of 1 minus cosine squared x is going to be sine squared x. Okay, so we get sine squared x divided by x sine x multiplied by 1 plus cosine x. Now you're going to see the secret trick to solve any trig 0 over 0 limit. It's a very important trick. I'm going to show you to you right now. If you're enjoying my content, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for lots of math content at all levels. I'm a professional mathematician, and these lectures, as I've taught multiple times at Princeton University, have a lot of experience teaching calculus and understand where students have difficulties. I'm going to guide you through your math journey. So here we've gotten this far. Now what we can do is we can cancel off sine squared x by sine x. We can cancel it off, and we're now in a very good situation. We have two limits. Okay, so I'm going to write it out on the top of the board. We're now reduced to the following. We're reduced to limit x goes to 0 of sine x over x. Okay, sine x over x times 1 over 1 plus cosine x. Now, this is a very important point, because here's the secret trick. It's knowing this limit. Limit x goes to 0 of sine x over x. Know this limit, you know them all. It's really a magic silver bullet for trig 0 over 0 limits. And we know, and I'm going to explain to you why, but that limit is equal to 1. Okay, that limit as x approaches 0 is 1, and it's very subtle. Okay, it's not obvious at all, but it's a very important one to know, because once you know that's 1, you can use the product law for limits to say that this limit, as x approaches 0, we can directly plug in, that's 1 plus cosine 0, which is 2 on the bottom, on the denominator. So we get 1 times a half, and because of that, that's equal to half, and that's our answer. And that's why this was called an indeterminate form, because it could have been anything, turned out to be half, basically measures how fast this is going to 0 versus how fast this denominator, numerator versus denominator, how they're going to 0 in what proportion roughly. That's a 0 over 0 form. Now if you want to see a whole lot more trigonometric 0 over 0 limits to really master them, check out this video. It's going to pop up on your screen here. It shows you how to calculate any trig 0 over 0 limit. Get more practice, solve them and see how I've done it. And here's another video. This explains why sin x over x, the limit as x approaches 0, is one rigorous math. So if you want a deeper behind the scenes dive into why math works, check it out. I explain it with beautiful pictures in this video.